Hello crafty cuties and welcome back to part 2. If you missed part 1, I go over 10 different page ideas to create a mini album, and in this video I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can bind a book together without using any type of sewing and without any type of machine. I have 3 different books here, so I'm going to bind these together, and I did not go over how I made the covers, but I made a pretty basic cover. I just used a box from a cereal box. I covered it in some paper and I used some cute little decorating. And I used the collection called Fun Bun by LittleHotTamale. This is my design team project. So I'll just show you the 3 different covers. And then for this video, like I said, we're just going to focus on the binding. So we're going to start with the first, where I will show you how you can use a coil bind without using a cinch machine. So you're just going to need your book pages and your front cover and back cover. You're going to need a coil, and I got this from Joann's. You can also get these online. You can type in coil binding. It's really nice that Joann's carries these now because I used to only be able to get them online. Then you're going to need a hole punch. You're going to need a measuring tape or a ruler, and then some paper and a pencil. Now guys, this is really simple, okay? I'm doing this the easiest way that I can possibly do. Normally I would use my cinch machine, but I want to show you guys how you can do this without. So I have a 5" by 5" cover and pages, and I just went ahead and I cut down my coil to 6 different coils, and so you can see this is the size that it comes, and I just use a wire cutter to trim that off. And I like using a coil like in the middle of the book, is just how I prefer. So cut down your coil to the size that will work for your book, and then I'm going to use a scrap piece of paper here. And what I want to do is go ahead and get this the same height as my book. So I'm just going to grab some scissors here. And we're going to use this piece of paper as our guide. You can see there's some holes on here already because I was kind of playing around with it. And I'm not even going to do that perfect. We're just going to do it as quick as possible. Okay, so now we know this is the same height, and I'm going to go ahead and basically mark with my pencil where the holes need to be. And I did measure, and I can see that these are all actually, I believe it was a 1/2 inch apart. Just about. Yep, they're a 1/2 inch apart. So you can surely take your ruler and just mark 1/2 inch 6 times. But I don't like to use a ruler, so I'm just going to kind of put this on my paper here, and I'm just going to take my pencil and mark where I want the holes to be. And then I can use this guide to put punch holes in all of the cover and pages. And again, you can use a regular hole punch, but I'm going to be using my crocodile. I'm going to continue doing this. I'm at a weird angle, so I'll be right back. I went ahead and used my ruler to make sure that these were all 1/4 inch in so that it can be as even as possible. And then you can kind of just do a double check just to make sure that everything lines up. And then we're going to use our hole punch, and I'm going to use the regular sized hole. And I'm just gonna punch my holes on our guide page here. Our template, I guess you could call it. This way we can also double check to make sure that this is going to fit perfect on the coils before we cut into our pages. You can see that this one was a little crooked, but that's okay. So it fits just perfect. So now I know that I can use this as the guide, and I'm going to do the front and back cover last. And now I'm just going to basically take the template and make sure I like where it's placed, and then I can punch the holes in all of these pages. Now you can mark a hole if you want through and do it that way, or you can just use this as your template and punch. Go ahead ahead and repeat this to all of your pages and your front and back cover. One thing I have to say I love about my crocodile is that you can punch several pages. I'm basically going to punch this whole book in just one little punch here. So if you don't have a book binding machine, having this crocodile really comes in handy. Now that you have all of your pages punched, make sure that everything is in order with your cover on top, but you want to take your back cover and we're going to place this on the top so that the back outside cover and then the front cover are sandwiched, if that makes sense. So it's going to look like this. So this is the inside back cover. So you want them in order just like so. And then you can flip these over and go ahead and place these all on the coils, starting with the last page first. And that might make more sense in a moment when I show you why we are going to place that back cover. Just go ahead and place everything on here. And I wasn't like extremely careful with making sure that the holes were at the exact spot on each one, even with that guide. So you might want to be more careful. I was just kind of in a hurry, but and then we have our cover and then the back cover. There we go. And remember, even though this is the back cover, the outside of the back cover is face forward with the front of the front cover. And now we are simply going to squeeze these together with our hands. So normally the cinch machine would do this and it would make it all super pretty and perfect, but we are just going to squeeze each one individually together. And you want to squeeze hard enough so that these kind of meet with each other. They don't clasp or anything like that, so you just want to make sure it's basically closed. Oops. And you do want to try to just do this in 1 or 2 squeezes because these can get kind of bent out of shape and, you know, not look super pretty, but I don't find it to be a big deal. I've done this before. And you can kind of, if things look a little crooked, you can kind of manipulate them to look as straight as possible. And then you can just roll this to the back. And then we want to take our back cover and we're just going to bring that around. And what that does is it just kind of makes this ending part on the inside of the book so that you don't see that. And that's actually something that I just recently learned. And so there we go, guys. We have our super cute album that we didn't have to use a machine for. And now I'm going to show you 2 more ways to bind your book together. The next book, we are just going to use some ribbon or twine to bind our books. And I am going to punch 2 holes. You can punch as many as you want. You could do 3. I'm just going to punch 2 in all of our pages and I'll be right back. And of course, for this method, you don't have to measure anything. You can just place the holes where you think they look good. You can use a measure or, you know, a ruler if you want, but I just like to eyeball it. Now that we have our holes punched and we have everything in order, you do want to make sure that the front cover is on the top and then the back cover will actually be on the back. And I lost my flower if you notice. Now we are basically going to string one side through the bottom hole of all of the pages and then we will go through the second. And I'm going through the bottom because I want to tie mine on the front. If you don't want to see the tie, you can do the opposite. Once you have all of the bottom holes strung, go ahead and we are going to take our ribbon from the back and go through the top hole all the way through to the front again. So you'll have the 2 ribbon ends at the front of the book when you're all complete. once you have both ribbon ends through to the front or the back, you can go ahead and tie a little bow. And I do like to kind of flip through first, just to make sure that I know I have enough slack in the front that I can open up the book like all the way flat. So I just like to tie a little bow, and you are good to go on this binding method. I'm just going to cut the ends here kind of pretty. And there you go. And you can see that I have matching ribbon as my closure, so it all kind of coordinates. And for the third binding method, I am going to use these rings. I got these at the Dollar Tree, but you can also get them at craft stores. And I'm going to punch 2 holes just like we did in the previous book. And then we can use these to bind our book together. And I'm just going to go ahead and string these through my metal rings. And for this one, I find it easiest to kind of do both at a time. And then you can go from the back to the front. And the nice thing about these rings is that they do have different sizes. So depending on the size of your book, you can easily customize the rings. There we go, guys. So this is the third idea. I hope that you will be inspired to make a cute little book, a little mini album. And again, if you wanted some page ideas, you can check out my previous video where I show you 10 different page ideas. You can use those page ideas for any type of handmade book, really. I thought some of you may like to see what these look like, a little flip through once they're all bound. And again, remember that I used the Fun Bun collection. This is my design team project, and I love this collection. I think it's so cute, and I only printed this collection out once, guys, and I made 3 books with it. So you can get kind of an idea of how much you get with a digital collection, but also you can, you know, print these out as often as you want, as many times as you want, and that is a really nice added bonus. I love how these books turned out. I am gifting these for some happy mail to some lovely ladies who send me way too much goodness all the time. And then we'll open this one up, just do a little quick flip here. I do really like the ribbon one too. It's just cute, and I feel like it's kind of girly, and I really like it. Little bag here, and then we'll go on to this one right here. This is also really cute too, and I think that this would look really cool maybe on a vintage type book. I mean, I think it looks cute on this one as well, but you really can't go wrong with these 3 binding techniques. They're all so easy and quick. You need minimal you know, products, and anyone can do it. They're really easy. I think I said easy twice, but they are. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.